want to talk about using examples in math classrooms and show you one of my favorite tools that I've used during online teaching, which is DeltaMath. Let's look at what DeltaMath has to offer, and then let's talk about the research in order to ensure that you're using this most effectively for your classroom. To access DeltaMath, you can go to www.deltamath.com. There are free versions and versions which you pay for. My school district currently pays for one, so some of the resources I might show you might not be available, but a lot of them will be. To log in, you simply log in. My credentials are already there. It brings you to a home screen, which is a little bit visually overwhelming, but once you understand what it is, it's very easy to use. These are all of the topics that DeltaMath has. In the corner, you can see what grade level they are based on number, and they're sorted by color as well. So grade 8 is red. A stands for algebra, G for geometry, A2 for algebra 2, pre-calculus, and calculus. If you want to sort, you can sort by grade level. So if I'm looking at geometry, I simply click on geometry. I also tend to choose grade 8 and grade 7 because geometry has a lot of standards that relate to those. If I'm looking for something specific, I can either type in the Common Core standard or something as simple as trigonometry. And then it shows the different things that pop up. If I had chosen algebra 2, it would give me a lot of trig functions, but I'm working with geometry right now with my geometry class, so I want the triangle trigonometry. I can look at the questions by clicking on them and see what they are. I can see what the solutions are and the type of explanation that the solution will give. When I want to create an assignment, I simply go to Create Standard Assignment. I name it, I choose which class, I choose these options, and I choose which skills. To add a skill, I click the plus button. I can then choose how many are required, if there's a penalty, and it tells me how long. I can also assign the DeltaMath video, assign a YouTube video, or create my own problem. Finally, I can choose a due date and add a late date for a certain amount of credit. What this looks like for students is this. So if I click on my second period class, everything was due last week, so you see no upcoming assignments, but as you can see, I give late credit on most assignments. These are assignments from last term. Students will see the assignment. In this case, I assigned a video and some problems, and they can click on them, and it goes and it shows you the question. They type in their answer to see if it's correct. There's another option where you can choose several different types of questions. So for example, when we were solving for missing angles, I chose all of these different skills. And this was a problem set that we worked on over the course of days. It began with something simple, like identifying angles with terminology, and moved up to something harder, which was finding angles with justification. Now, DeltaMath is a great tool to use for examples, but what works about examples and what doesn't, and what are things you have to be aware of while you're using this tool? DeltaMath gives students multiple examples. If they get a question wrong, they continue to get more questions until they learn how to get it right. And that research shows, is perfect for students learning. They also provide great support. If a student is working on a question, they can see the solution, they can show the example, and in a lot of questions, they can also watch the help video. All of these things show that they improve student learning with examples. The other thing I specifically like about the examples is that the prompts are incredibly clear. A lot of the time, it includes the information in the diagram so students don't have to do that extra work while problem solving, which is shown to confuse students and hinder their learning at a lot of times. You can see this in addition in the proof problems. For example, when you're looking at proofs, it actually highlights the important information. So if I'm saying FA is congruent to FB, when I put my mouse over it, it highlights, and that's shown to be effective as well. Now, some things you should be aware about while using DeltaMath. There's a high variability of questions that you can choose from, but the questions are all separated, and they're separated by content. So let's go back to this. The students know exactly what they're getting, so they do not have to choose the problem set solving technique that they need for this question, and that's problematic. Secondly, it does not have them to compare the differences between different types of questions. Finally, not in each problem set, it doesn't have the building blocks. These are the great things about DeltaMath. Watch part 2 to see the things that DeltaMath needs work with that you can help for your classroom.